This is Metcalfe County School Superintendent Benny Lile, and this message is intended for our Metcalfe County School community and families. Today is Saturday afternoon, February 17th. And I want to take a moment to review and explain a little bit what's taken place in our school system this past week and share a few things with you. Most of you are normally used to seeing me in these type settings doing a lighthearted song about an upcoming snow day, but obviously what we're talking about here is much more serious. The events of the past week obviously have got a lot of people asking questions, a lot of people wanting information and all, and I understand that and I respect that. We've tried to keep our community updated, especially yesterday, and we have had some comments and questions about what we do and how we do that. So I want to take a minute and try to explain some of those decisions and how they're made. I do appreciate those that have responded to our post in the professional and respectful manner in which you've asked your questions and in which you have presented your comments. I've always said as long as we can remain on a professional and a respectful basis, we are always glad to have those conversations. Let me begin with some definitions of some terms I'm going to use throughout this piece and that you've heard us use in past, and those terms are rumors, statements, threats, specific threats, and credible threats. Rumors are just that. They're generally unfounded. They generally are somebody said that I heard someone say that they said that I heard, and you just kind of go in circles. You probably all played that game where you start whispering in somebody's ear, and by the time it gets to the end, it's a whole different message. Fortunately, most of what we investigate are just that, rumors. They're very frustrating. They're hard to pin down. They take an enormous amount of time, but thankfully they're generally baseless. A statement sometimes is a foundation of a rumor. An individual just makes a statement without any thought to it sometimes, or without any foundation to it, and those statements, as I said, unfortunately turn into rumors. A threat is just exactly that. It's a comment, usually about an event that is going to occur. But if it's just a threat, it doesn't have a date and or a time. A specific threat will carry that. What we consider a specific threat will carry a date and or time. And then if you get a credible specific threat, it's when we can tie that to some other instance. For example, perhaps a group of students have had a confrontation, and that's carried over and spilled over, and then we get news or get notified of a threat that we can make connected to that event. Well, now we've got something specific, and we have something we feel is credible, and those are more of a serious nature. So let me go back to what's happened this past week. Some people have indicated that everything that took place yesterday, Friday, started on Monday. That's not accurate. There was a statement made over last weekend by a student from another district. And I'm going to use the terms alleged and supposed and all, because so oftentimes it's very difficult to get to the end of these. And the last thing we want to do is make some accusation that is not valid. But supposedly a student in another district just made a statement, or maybe even just asked a question about some event that was supposed to take place, and for whatever reason, this student mentioned 3 school districts, and one being Metcalfe County. We do not know why Metcalfe County was mentioned. That was investigated thoroughly over the weekend. It was found to be without any merit or without any basis. The communication we received was there was not a threat. So at that point, the question we have to ask, do we make matters worse by going public and making some type of statement ourselves about the event? Because I do think sometimes we can make it worse by making a statement. With the no basis for this whatsoever, I made the decision that we wouldn't go public with that. I know there's been some criticism of that decision. I understand that. I respect it, but I do take responsibility for that. We try to learn from every situation that we're put in, and certainly we'll learn from that. Friday morning, rumors began to float. The way we heard from them was predominantly middle school students communicating back to their parents that they were hearing XYZ was going to happen. And all the X, Y's, and Z's were different. And when we started trying to track down what was happening, it appeared to be just rumors that we could not pinpoint. However, this thing was getting bigger and bigger by the minute. So since it did emanate from within our system, the decision was made we would go public. Now, I've been, some of the comments I know have said that our initial message and posting was vague about what was taking place. And I understand that, and it was vague. It was vague because what we were dealing with was vague. We had no basis. We had multiple different stories, multiple different pieces, and when we finally got to what we think was the source of the rumor, it was a student who thought they heard another student talking about an event that might happen at school. When we found the students who should have been the source, supposedly they had been talking about the unfortunate tragic event in Florida. So what one student heard was another student talking about something that had happened 3 days earlier. Again, rumors from just a statement that come from nowhere. And again, in no way connected to what had happened earlier in the week to our knowledge. Friday afternoon, again, not connected to any of these. At some time Friday afternoon at the high school, a comment was found written on the wall. It was more than a comment, it was a threat. That was written on the wall indicated that there would be an event take place at the ball game on Friday night. Our custodians are in and out of our restrooms on a regular basis. This was in a somewhat conspicuous spot, so they were able to pinpoint a pretty small window of time that this probably occurred. From there, school personnel were able to go to security cameras and identify the individuals who were going in and out of the restroom during that time. Those individuals were brought in, and hence the investigation on that began. This was now getting late in the afternoon. Friday, the school who was to be playing us Friday night was in the Eastern time zone. They had either already released school for the day or were in the process, so a lot of things were happening at one time. Now again, at this point we had a threat, and we actually had a specific threat because it did mention an event, but we still did not know about the credibility of it. So because of the time frame that we were in, the decision was made to cancel the game on both parties. Upon further investigation, which by the way is ongoing, that threat did lack credibility. Apparently it was baseless, without any motivation, without being tied to anything else that we know of at this time. An individual has been questioned about that. An individual has been identified that is allegedly responsible for that. That individual is a minor. Their name will not be released. That individual will be afforded due process through the legal system. They will be afforded due process through school disciplinary measures, and they will not be in attendance when our students resume classes this week. And I hope you understand that there's not much more I can say about that at this time, as that investigation is ongoing. School is in session Monday. I know there were some reports earlier in the week that we're out for President's Day. That's not accurate. Maybe there's been some reports that we're going to dismiss school because of what's happened. That's not accurate. We'll be in school Monday. We'll do everything like we do every day to make every child in our district as safe as they possibly can be. Most people know how to reach me, whether it's email, telephone, in person. I welcome conversations in the dollar store parking lot, at the ball game, stopping by the office while I'm in the schools, out and about. I welcome those. As I said, those of you, and I know you do, have concerns. All of us want our children safe, and we'll strive every day to do that in the Metcalfe County School System. Thank you for your time, and have a nice rest of your weekend.